Hey Stampers, I'm Meg from LovenStamps, and you are watching another Maker Mornings with Meg video. So today is Monday, and I have a really great Monday. Little bit before you can really get going. So I'm going to share a project with you today that is like a secret stash of designer series paper. And best, it is on the last chance list, which is linked in the video description. It's also in the supply list, but it is, it looks nothing like a pack of designer series paper. I'm kind of pulling mine together here. It is these guys. These little tiny, can you hear me now, Sue? Let me check and see if I am back. Let's see if I can hear. I think I am. Okay, I think I'm back, right? Can everyone hear now? Anyway, it is these guys. These are the Sweet Little Valentines. They are a set of cards and envelopes that look like this, and then a whole bunch of these little layering pieces. And they all go together to make lots of cards. These are like leftovers of things that I have flying out here after having used almost all of these. But they are basically like a little tiny package of designer series papers that all coordinate lots of shapes with these little pieces here. They're actually even pierced. Can you see the edging on those? There you go. And if you are looking at this and you think, yes, I do not want to have the hearts on there, and I do not want giant "You Are Loved," you are in luck, because the back sides of these are also done and gold embossed and also very cute. So we're gonna go ahead and use these to like augment our pack of paper basically. And we're gonna make a card with the Wrapped Bouquet stamp set, because the Wrapped Bouquet dies that cut out the images there are also on the really great offer for the retiring products list. So great time to add these to your stash. And you might have seen this card that I made a long time ago, I think back in January even maybe. And this one uses that same Wrapped Bouquet. So you're gonna find that there are lots of other, kind of fun ways to incorporate this. I'm gonna make kind of a similar card, but again, using our fabulous papers. So, okay, you guys can hear me, even in Grand Rapids? Whew, all right, glad that we're back. That was crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna flip you guys down here. So, we have a set of supplies that kind of feature these cards. And like I said, the cards and envelopes are here. So basically you could fold these in half, and they come in a couple different patterns. This is the only one I have left. So you could use these with the little envelopes. They are 3.5 by 4.5, which I double checked on USPS.com this morning. The minimum size to mail is 3.5 by 5. So they're a little bit too small to mail, but you could put them in a larger envelope, or you could use, like we are going to today, we're going to use one of these cards and put it on a full-size card here. So I've got a piece of Blushing Bride. And one of the things I also love about this paper, if you've watched my videos, you know I talk about the tug between Blushing Bride and Petal Pink, and that they're not usually highly compatible, which makes this even more fun because the two colors are together and they're gorgeous. So you could use this for anything. It does not have to be Valentine related for sure. And you get a pack of, how many are in here? One kit. That's not helpful. You get a pack of cards and they're $5. So that makes them a really great opportunity for just sort of mixing and matching and using these elements. So I'm trying to look and see how many cards are in there. I want to say 10, maybe there's 20. Oh, did I see them? They're there. Okay, yeah, they're here in the catalog, and they show the little Valentines exactly the way they're made. It's $10 or $5 for a set of, 10 cards, yeah. So for $5, that's a great deal. Okay, so I'm going to use this one here. We're gonna clear some stuff out of the way. And I am going to fold my Blushing Bride cardstock in half, okay? So we're gonna use both Blushing Bride and Petal Pink on our card, which is kind of fun. And I love these little gold embossed dots there around the edges, so just a pretty fun accent. And we're going to bring in our stamp here. So I'm gonna grab my Memento ink. I'm going to grab a piece of basic white cardstock. The back of my block is sticky for some reason, so it's jumping all over. And with Memento, I usually do like a twist, 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 tap, tap, tap kind of thing to make sure I get that all on there. Okay, so there is our nice crisp image in black ink. And then I'm going to bring in some dimensionals. I'm going to add some dimension with my markers. So let's get these in order. Okay, these are Petal Pink, these are Pale Papaya, these are Polished Pink and Soft Succulent. And you would think that this Polished Pink is like not a match for these supplies at all, but I'm gonna show you how we're gonna incorporate it to get just a little bit of shading. So I'm actually gonna use the darker of the Polished Pink. And not Polished Pink, Petal Pink. And before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and show you, here's one of the dies. There are great dies in this set. We're gonna come back to use this one. Go ahead and, through the magic of television, run this through my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine so that I have the die cut version with little backings. Okay. All right, so now back to my darker Petal Pink. I am going to give my flowers a once over here. When you're using these markers, they're alcohol markers, and so you are safe to use water-based inks with them, like Memento. My favorite Stampin' Blend combination is Memento ink and Stampin' Blends. So, all right, so I've got that base layer. Now we want to add some dimension to these colors, so I'm gonna go with my Pale Papaya and add some darker color here around the center, okay? So I'm just gonna leave it light there at the very edge. Now this one is kind of folded up, so that darker color is only gonna end up on the inside, and then just a little shading on the underside of these little petals here. And again, just on the inside, so I'm leaving that petal kind of exposed. And we want to add a little color, because our pink here is what's coming from the cardstock and so forth. So now I'm gonna bring in Polished Pink, my light Polished Pink, and I'm going to add in some pink just at the very center of these flowers. And do you see how they really just kind of start to glow a little bit? Now, if I feel like my Polished Pink is a little too strong, I might go back with my Pale Papaya and blend there at the intersection between the two colors, just to sort of get that transition a little bit smoother there. Okay. Kind of see how that's coming together. Ooh, sorry. There we go. All right, so I'm kind of happy with those. Now the leaves are black, which is just, I would like them to be a little green. So I'm gonna bring in the light of my Simply Soft Succulent markers here. And right now these are on back order, but they are this week supposed to be in the warehouse. So probably pretty safe to order. So I've colored those, but I'm just going to go ahead and put a line up each of these leaves that overlaps. So I'm doing the stem and then the leaves, just to add some like hint of color along the edges, so that those kind of, we have some green planty kind of aspect to our leaves there. Okay, see how that works? And then that way we have a really nice set of bouquets. Okay, so we're going to bring this back to our card and get this ready to pop on here. Now, one of the things that I really like about this stamp set is it has this newspaper background. Since we're kind of doing a wrapped bouquet here, wrapped in newspaper, it has this stamp, which actually coordinates with this little die right here so that you can make your own actual wrapped bouquet that fits around this. So complete with its own little wrap. We're not gonna do that today, but that's part of the dies, which is a great feature, especially since these dies are half price as they're on the last chance list. So we're gonna take this and we're going to put this newspaper image in the background. There's a ton of tips on this card actually. I'm getting like all excited to share them all with you here. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so we're gonna put this on here kind of behind the bottom newspaper here as a little accent. So I'm gonna kind of guess where that placement's gonna go. And then I'm gonna stamp directly on this little note piece here, okay? So here's kind of without the stamp and here's with the stamp. This is a great way to incorporate these pieces and sort of mix them into what you're working on. Now, I love it when there's a little piece of twine around here, and because we've done Blushing Bride, it matches the snail mail twine, which is also half off. And here is my tip for this. It is really hard to tie around a piece of triangle when it's all moving and you can't get it tight. So here's my solution for you. Grab a dimensional. There's a ton of string on this roll, so don't be too concerned about how much you need. Just be generous and make it easy for yourself. Put your dimensional right on the back to hold that in place. Then flip it over and go ahead and tie your bow. So that way, the string is not trying to slide down the entire time you are tying, okay? Now, if it's really too loose when you're done, you can always go back and take some slack out of the back side with the trick that I've taught you before, but I've found that it doesn't have to be super tight. Okay, snug down your little bow ends so that they're in good scale for your project, and trim, you don't have to trim too much. Trim your ribbon there. Okay, so now we have our bow, which is tied and ready to attach. Okay, so let us go ahead and, oh, I'm not gonna stick this down yet because I'm going to add to it. Remember I said that the dies had these pieces here, these greenery. There's actually a cute little tag. These 1, 2, 3, 4, this one's a double, 5, 6-ish greenery pieces and these little flowers. So there are lots of choices on here. And I'm gonna use these, and they're 2 dies together. So I'm actually cut these, I'll show you here. I'm gonna take a piece of remember I have all these little papers left. I'm gonna take a piece of this paper, which I previously used to cut something else, clearly. And I'm gonna go ahead and die cut these like this, so that I have both of those cut, and through the magic of television, have these little greenery pieces from the same set to add. So I know, Trish, another one that's useful. Stampin' Up! Just keeps making good stuff, so tough. So let's go ahead and add these, and they're gonna kind of do a little bit of tie-in here now with our papers and our die cut and our layers, so they fit really nicely under there. So I've kind of got them exactly where I want them. I'm gonna go ahead and keep them there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and, to make it easy to attach, I'm just gonna put dimensionals over the bottoms of these where I know they will be hidden. So now they're attached, and they'll be hidden by our die cut. So let me peel this dimensional off, and we'll come back. I'm gonna make this straight so I don't kind of orient it the wrong way. I'm going to pop this here on our project, okay? So now we have this sweet little panel, and I didn't have to do anything to color the background. Remember, the background came pre-colored for us, which is so convenient. And then this paper here with the greenish paper, I don't know, it's kind of a mint macaron Coastal Cabana cross even. It's probably mint macaron. But anyway, it's really pretty with these layers here, okay? So this is gonna layer here on our card, and I am going to go ahead and pop this on with some Stampin' Dimensionals, and then I have some embellishments and a tip for the inside. Now remember not to put your dimensionals over this dotted line here, because that dotted line is actually a die cut in the card. So this is a really fun way to get a set of 10 little die cut pieces in this card set. So they're, you don't have to cut them, and they're pre-inked and pre-gold foiled. They're just a nice accent. Okay, so we need a greeting for this, and greetings included here are, of course, Happy Mother's Day, which you could save this for a year. Love you bunches, thanks friend, and for you. And this for you fits on this sweet little tag die. But we're gonna use, I'm all about the puns, so we're gonna go with love you bunches. So I'm gonna take this, and remember, we're using our like scraps of papers here. So I'm actually gonna take one of these little guys, which is from one of the cards that I cut up. And I'm gonna use this to stamp our greeting. So let's go ahead and ink this up in Memento and stamp on here, kind of between those gold dots. And then I wanted to cut this out with a fun shape. So I grabbed my Tasteful Labels dies, and this little circle, little dotted circle scallopy one right here is a perfect size and shape for this. So die cutting this through the magic of excuse me, oh my goodness. Through the magic of television gives us this sweet little shape, which is just an ideal one for the size and theme of our cards. So sweet with the scallops, and the colors match everything that's already on here because it's from the same paper pack. So I'm gonna drop a dimensional on the back of this and pop this on here. So we have our love you bunches. And then we're going to add to, let's see, we're gonna embellish, and we're gonna add to the inside of our card and the envelope. So I know I don't always stamp envelopes with you guys, but they're linked in the product list here in this video description. They're really outstanding, the Stampin' Up! Envelopes. They're just a really nice quality. And they accept ink really well. So I'm gonna grab Blushing Bride. And the other big stamp that we haven't used yet from this set is this guy right here. And it's pretty because it matches the theme of this one, but it's not exactly the same image. So I've got this, I'm gonna ink it up in Blushing Bride to match our card. And my favorite place to stamp on an envelope is down here at the bottom corner because the post office doesn't really care if you stamp here. If you stamp all the way along the bottom, they're gonna put one of those stickers with those black hashtag lines on it. And usually I don't love that covering up what I've done. So the other thing you can do is you can flip this to the back side and you can stamp here either across the fold or honestly, a lot of times I just stamp the top of it so that it kind of just comes across like that. So, all right, so then you'd have your card and your envelope, but we're gonna stamp on the inside also. So I have a piece of basic white cardstock cut to go inside. And my Blushing Bride is really inky right now, my stamp pad. So I'm gonna stamp off once and then stamp on the corner, just kind of like we did for our envelope. And then this is going to go inside. Wow, this is the first time I've used my seal on this card. Everything else was dimensionals. And then there on the inside of our card, we're gonna add this little layer. So the card base, if you're new to card making, the card base is just half of a card or half of a sheet of cardstock. It's 5.5 inches tall by 8.5 inches wide, which makes this panel 4 inches wide by 5.25 inches tall. So we have this set here. And then embellishments, I promised you guys. So let's come back here with another one from the last chance list. These are the Resin Hearts embellishments. And I have some other cards to show you that feature, let's see, I've been using the Resin Hearts a bunch lately. Here is another card where I used the Sweet Little cards and envelopes, Sweet Valentine cards and envelopes, just like today. This is the back of one of these cards. I just split it in half and used it basically as 2 designer series papers with that snail. And here are the little Resin Hearts. And then I'm gonna grab them again. And I think I'm gonna have to let poor Pepper, our dog, outside. So hold on 1 second and I'll be right back and show you our slide and stick technique. Okay, come on, Pepper. Okay, slide and I think we called it slide and slap actually. So my demonstrator friend Betsy Kreider was doing a video tutorial for our LovenStamps demonstrator team recently, and she showed this cool trick. So here's what you do. You take your pick tool You take your rhinestones or heart resins and you press down and you slide and, oh, watch it not work now. You slide and it picks up really easily, this little heart. And then you can orient it exactly the way you want, and you can stick them on your project. That one was crooked. Let's see, I can't see because the envelope's the same color. There we go. So slide, slide and stick, or slide and slap, whatever you want to call it. I will tell you the little like warning label on this technique is that it makes it so easy to use the rhinestones that you'll use a lot more than you might have otherwise. So that's my only like warning to you. This one I got sideways, so to turn that, there we go. But it is so slick. I'm really, really excited about this. So make sure you get your take your pick tool out. I used to try and dig them off of there with like the point tool or the blade tool, but they were just so hard to get off that I really love this one. And the trick is to slide and then, I don't want to do it because oh, what the heck, one more. Slide and that adhesive will come off a little bit. It's bond with the plastic, it's broken enough that you can just slide that off and pick it up. So perfect, right? So these little resin heart embellishments are also half price. So they're just a couple dollars. They're a great thing to add to an order right now. So that is our card. So kind of a fun way to use the Sweet Little Valentines, the pieces there, to come up with a whole bunch of great combinations on things to do. You definitely do not have to use them to do Valentines. You can use them to do all kinds of things. And even another trick on this particular one, so this guy here was the hearts. If you wanted to have this ombre background, but you didn't want the hearts to show, you could just take another piece of cardstock. I don't have one exactly as a good example, but you could take another piece of cardstock and you could layer over it and just cover up that whole element there. And then it wouldn't even show that the hearts were on there, and they would just be a really great embellishment. So the things from the January through June catalog are about to retire. The 30th is their last day, or while supplies last. There's a couple things already sold out already. So I checked this morning, and this Wrapped in Love stamp set and die set were still there. So don't wait too long. I don't know how long they'll be there. But these are a really fun thing to use, and you guys know me. I am a big fan of puns, and it's pretty and punny. So Love You Bunches and is just a great one. So when you can have pretty and puns together, like, hey, what else could we want, right? So that's it for our Monday. I hope you guys have an absolutely fabulous day, that you have some great opportunities for creativity and to share doing what you love, share a card with somebody, brighten somebody's day. And I will look forward to seeing you again on Wednesday. So happy stamping, and thank you so much for spending some time with me. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.